Here's a little sneak peek of spirituality bonus episodes located at my Patreon. Enjoy. Hello, gorgeous soul. Welcome to a special bonus brew of spirituality, where the kettle is hot, the vibes are real, and nothing is off limits. I'm your host, Susie, and today we are spilling the raw, the mystical, and the deeply personal with very special guests. Call up your bestie, bring in Nana for these piping hot spirituality chats. We're diving into the messy, the magical, and the truth that lives in between. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's deep into some sacred conversation.
Come on, like we already know this is something that was not invented by Western new age shit. To me, listening to this, like I feel this was something they saw and they wanted to commodify, or I don't know, like they uh stole this obviously from something, right? So then I just went into like a mini rabbit hole, and I saw there was this thing called, and I think the Chinese used to do it, called Fuji or planchette writing.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like where I feel maybe have gotten part of the idea for it. But I truly feel like the Ouija board, I'm ready to throw it out the window and not even feel like it's something as a buka I would use, only because I feel it's part of New Age, and I don't really want to be associated with New Age because I feel everything New Age is pretty colonized and appropriated in some ways. So I don't know. To me, I'm kind of like over all of this. When you told me that, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what is the church? I feel the church involving themselves in anything that has to do with what we do, something's up. Like you have to question it, right?
Oh, we're going to be talking to demons and let's find out all these terrible things. It would go in that way, right? And then everybody be freaked out and running around and screaming like little girls. And
Yeah.
any noise you heard outside, of course, was, had to do with that board or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I never really put a lot of thought into it. I thought it was like a fun little kind of parlor trick and it was fun to play with, but I took it to most sleepovers. Some parents, like my parents didn't care. They were like, okay, cool. But it felt like it was
Don't bring
something.
back anything.
Yeah, it felt like it
Yeah,
was something that you had to like hide. Like most people, like most of my friends were like, bring the Ouija board. Don't show my mom. I'm like, okay, sounds good. As I'm like taking it out of our game closet, like, we're going on a
Mhm.
sleepover.
that's crazy. Because for us, it was a big hell no. Like
Mhm.
huge hell to the no. Like I think when my mom found my brothers, she would, if that wasn't, because that was her stepson, but if that was her bloodborn son, I'm pretty sure he would have got his ass whooped. Like I know for a
Yeah.
fact.
And it's so funny because like my mom didn't come from a religious background, but my dad came from like a very like heavily religious like Christian background,
Hmm.
which he didn't take part in as he was older. His parents were very, very religious. So, but he was just like when he got older, he's like, nope, not for me. No, thank you. So I thought if anyone, like he would be one that had kind of a reaction to
Yeah.
it. And he was like, I don't care. Whatever. Do what
Interesting.
you want to do. Kids are gonna be kids. But then there'd be like some parents that like you would bring it over and they'd be like, I wish you would have told me before you brought it. Well, I don't know if I really want this in my house.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's just a game, but cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing ever happened. I'm here. I'm fine.
You survived it. It's like a rite of passage, right? At slumber parties, and that's another thing I wanted to get into was, the slumber parties, light as a feather, stiff as a board, Bloody Mary, all of those
Candyman.
little Candyman, just trying to get scared because that's I don't know, we want that innate feeling, right? It's like that excitement and really pushing the boundaries between the veil with not even knowing it, but inertly, it's like we know it within ourselves, which I always thought was interesting, right? These things are passed down from generation to generation, and it's always a thing like trying to scare you, and that's how we have a lot of our folklore.
And the next day it was in front of their doorstep. So they were like, what the fuck? So then they took it, threw it away at another dumpster, like at some other store, like far away from the house. The next day it was right there in front of their doorstep. They told me it took them about a week to really get rid of it. And they had to actually like take it across the state. I think they ended up dumping it somewhere in San Francisco, if I can't remember, something like that. And then it never showed up again.
FaceTime chat. This is what Toys R Us looks like.
And now we're in a Toys R Us nostalgia. It's like throwing it back to a Blockbuster and
Oh, I miss Blockbuster.
Oh, Blockbuster.
mm, good
I
times as a
told my
kid.
daughter about Blockbuster.
You were telling her about it?
Yeah, telling her all about Blockbuster.
And what was the
Sometimes I
other
wonder
one?
if like our kids are ever gonna know
Ooh,
about like Ouija
Hollywood
boards and
Video.
stuff like that.
Was it
Hollywood
Hollywood
vi
Video? Oh,
Hollywood Video.
there was
Oh,
one
I
more,
don't
wasn't
remember.
it?
We had Movie Mart.
I can't
Movie
remember.
Mart.
I think it was Hollywood Video and Blockbuster.
Yeah, it was us too.
And I remember when you got old enough and you can get your own Blockbuster card and think I think that
Mm-hmm.
was so cool. I'm
Yep,
gonna rent my own movie. You're gonna rent that? I'm gonna rent my own.
exactly. Be kind, rewind.
Right?
And the thing is that I was like, okay, so here's the crazy thing. So I'm like, we look at like acupuncture and we look at like ancient Chinese medicine. And that stuff is very accepted here. And it's very like, yeah, go see an acupuncturist.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Fix that. Like that's gonna help you. But I'm like, but then if you like talk to somebody and you're like, well, I'm a Reiki healer, and they're like, well, what's that? Well,
that's
that's
so
not real.
woo-woo.
That's so woo-woo. Like that's so out there. Like you're crazy, right? And you're like, so then why is acupuncture? So I'm like, if I stuck needles in you, it would be okay. But if I'm just saying that I can move the if we're just working with energy, and I'm like, the biggest problem is why it's not just like so widely advertised and like out there is because I'm like, there's no way to make money. Like they
Yeah,
can't force you to have to go somewhere. If you're gonna get
Because
acupuncture, you
they
can regulate it, right?
yeah,
If you're gonna go do all these other things, it can be regulated. And there's no way to just like have that energy exchange without having compensation or them knowing about it or whatever. But like because
hmm
you can do distance Reiki, because you don't have to physically be with somebody, because there's so many ways that we can go about like energy exchange, then there's no way to monetize it. There's no way to guarantee that like the powers that be get their cut of what you're doing.
exactly.
because you can't bill the insurance for Reiki. But once these motherfuckers figure out how, you better believe they're going to capitalize on it. If they're not plotting and planning already and figuring out how they can incorporate Reiki into healthcare, they're going to capitalize on it. I guarantee you.
Yeah,
And they're going to make it seem like they're being innovative and they're helping people and they're being part of this and that. No, y'all full of shit and y'all figuring out now other ways to make money. And now you're going to target a whole different community and try to get them into healthcare. And because come on now, let's be real. A lot of us people who are into holistic medicine and into Reiki, I'm sure we go to our checkups and things like that, but we're not like very real, like where we rely on everything with healthcare. Like, I don't call my doctor for every little sniffle, every backache, like
hmm
I don't do that. Like, I don't, and I know, and I feel like why I'm passionate about holistic medicine is because I would love to see more people being trusting of their body and what their body is capable of and what themselves are capable of to self heal. Because of Western medicine just being so much of, I feel, making us sicker than making us better.
So these are just some snippets of my wonderful conversation with my wonderful guests, Emily and Elena, where we were dabbling into mainly spirit board talk and Ouija board talk from my previous episode on Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. And of course, as you can hear, we dabble into deeper talks where we're getting raw and real and basically just starting to stir the conversation. So that's the whole point of spirituality. This is where I can sit down with incredible guests and spill the truth about what spirituality really looks like, especially beyond the aesthetics and trying to get everything perfect, and really just going deeper, getting a little messy, and hearing each other's opinions. And I hope you love these little snippets. Me cutting this episode just to like grab your attention, just so you can kind of see and hear what it's all about. I hope you enjoyed that, because it is, I decided to do this at 10 p.m. Being really raw with you. And I was like, well, I need to put something in between the breaks. So I hope you enjoy the little musical breaks that I put in between our conversations. All right, gorgeous soul. Until next time, I'll see you at the crossroads and hopefully on my Patreon. See you there. And that's a wrap on today's bonus pour of spirituality. I hope this conversation stirred something in your soul, made you laugh, made you think, or maybe just made you feel a little bit more seen. If you loved this raw and real moment, be sure to share it and tag me and let the universe know what resonated. Want to be a guest? Or have a guest in mind you would love to hear? Let me know. You can catch me on my socials at Susie's Enchanted Crossroads. You can click the links to connect or shoot me an email at susiesenchantedcrossroads@gmail.com. But until next time, stay wild, stay witchy, and keep sipping on that sacred conversation.